Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and I'm reviewing the weekend's games in the National League South again, another episode. So, some critical games. Weston have officially been relegated, which I'll get onto into a moment. Playoff places have been secured, and there's also teams that are all but down as well. So, and just quickly before I get into this video, I want to apologise if there's any background noise, because as you can see, I'm just filming right by my window. It's open because it's boiling in this room. Beautiful weather today. Anyway, just apologies for that. Bear that in mind if there's any background noise. Get straight into the predictions and the results. The first game we have was Chippenham Town going up against Torquay United, and the host managed to run up 2-1 winners, coming against the much changed Torquay side. I believe they made 5 changes, so obviously Torquay have already won the league, so they could play without any pressure now. They could just make a few changes, give the youth players a chance, and they did just that. Gary Johnson made 5 changes, and Chippenham took the lead in the 24th minute through Dion Evans, giving them a good finish to put them 1-0 up. Then the young midfielder Olaf Costello in the 57th minute equalised for Torquay, hoping to give them a point, but late on the veteran striker Nick McCooty in the 70th minute gave Chippenham the 2-1 victory, giving them a good victory. I think so. They've actually done one of the few teams to actually get a double over Torquay, so obviously did beat them out Playmore when Gary Owers was in charge. So Torquay obviously now top the 10-point advantage over Woking, and Chippenham are 12th on 55 points, so a good victory there for Chippenham over the champions, doing the double over them, which I'll be delighted with. Next up is a game that both teams needed points for, Hungerford Town against Bath City, and this however managed to end in a bore 0-0 draw. A really non-event. Both teams were a bit under pressure because both teams needed the points for various reasons. Obviously Hungerford needed to stay up and Bath needed them to get into the playoffs. Now, neither team, they cancelled each other out, nothing really happened. They managed to just play out each other for the 0-0 draw eventually, and at that point for Hungerford has put them in 19th place on 38 points. They're a point outside the drop zone. They could be from safety. They could confirm their safety. They beat Torquay tomorrow and Truro lose at Hampton. And Bath are still in the playoffs in 5th place. By no means is it secure though, because they're only got a point margin of St Albans in 8th, who are gaining on them, right behind them. And so they're by no means safe. They need to start picking up points again if they want to be guaranteeing their playoff spot. But Hungerford, you could say, would have taken a point, but they need to be getting the results in. But Bath will be disappointed with the result, as they has damaged their chances in the playoffs slightly, even though they're still in there. So they would like to pick up points if they want to get in the playoffs and to secure it. The most mental game of the weekend took place at Clarence Park between St Albans City and Thurrock United, and the host managed to run out 2-1 winners. After a fairly non-event for the first 70 minutes when nothing much happened, it all came to life. Nasher gave Thurrock the lead in the 72nd minute, and that looked to be going ahead to give him a massive 3 points. However, 5 minutes from time, Clovis Camjo equalised for St Albans, looking to secure a point for them. Then into injury time is where it all kicked off. Tom Bender was shown a red for the Saints in the 92nd minute, and just 2 minutes later, Idris Diallo was shown the same for Thurrock, meaning it was 10 against 10 for the remaining however many minutes it was to go, and then cures chaos. Clovis Camjo in the 98th minute, secured a victory for the Saints, sending the home fan into raptures, much to the anger of John Coventry and the East Thurrock manager. I think he was clearly angered that clearly there was was played over too much time was played over. Injury time was clearly over. He wasn't happy with that, and because of his anger, he was sent to the stand, capping off a terrible result for East Thurrock in their bid to avoid the drop. They'd already pretty much all but given up before today's game, but this result has put them in a real bad position now. They've got to be all but down. They've got to be winning all of their remaining games now, realistically, and hoping other teams step up, which it's not what you want to be doing at that time of the season. However, for Saints, massive win for them, strengthening their playoff chances. They're in a really good position now, just 1 point behind Concord in 7th. St Albans at 8th, 64 points, actually level with Concord on 64, so they can overtake them if they start winning soon again. East Thurrock are 2nd from bottom. They're 5 from safety, so they could be down on Monday, I believe. I think if they lose on Monday, they are down. So they've got to be winning all their remaining games now, which isn't realistically, especially the form they're in. So it looks like curtains to restart. They could be returning to the Boston League next season. So because after this poor result, just frustration got the better of them and the manager, it seems, and it looks like relegation is all but sent. It's continue now. One of the games of the day was between Welling United and Chelmsford City, 2 teams who were desperately wanting that automatic semi-final place, chasing 3rd place. And it was the host that man up 2-0 winners, Welling 2, Chelmsford City 0, thanks to a brilliant goal from Bradley Goldberg, and also in part of a red card for Ches Isaac for the Chelmsford man. It was a fast start for Welling. After just a minute, Bradley Goldberg put them in front with a brilliant finish, and it stayed that way until the 36th minute. Ches Isaac, last man, gave away a penalty, and he was shown a straight red as well, just to add insult to injury, and Goldberg made no mistake from the spot, burying it, making it 2-0 to Welling, and it stayed that way, giving the Wings a massive 2-0 win. they've guaranteed a playoff spot now, and it's all but guaranteed them that automatic semi-final places too, because they're now in 3rd place on 73 points. They're 4 clear of Chelmsford in 4th on 69. So it looks like they'll take a major step up now from Welling if they were to concede that 3rd place. Welling will be delighted with that win. Chelmsford Swarm has been really inconsistent lately. Squad's let them down because they were in a really good position after Welling was starting to drop off as well. But Chelmsford just couldn't find the consistency. They'll be disappointed with this, and it looks like they'll have to settle for a quarter-final place and having to qualify for the semi-final. The final game of Friday was between Woking and Concord Rangers, and the away side stunned the hosts, winning out 2-1 winners. And Woking's form, as I said before, is going to absolute pot recently. They really can't find a win from anywhere. That's what Dulwich has done, is bottling promotion again, it seems. And it was a brilliant start for Concord, as they scored 2 goals in a 6-minute period inside the first half. Top scorer Alex Wall in the 30th minute put them in front, and just 6 minutes later, Jean-Luc, on loan from Lincoln City, doubled their lead going into half-time. Much to the anger and frustration of the Woking fans and management. Fans who were calling for Dulwich's head, and I believe, according to their form, Dulwich was arguing with some of Woking's fans, which is just hilarious. Anyway, in the 64th minute, Max Kretschmar did reduce the deficit for Concord, but it wasn't to be for them, and Concord managed to run out 2-1 winners, giving them a massive win in the bid to qualify for the playoffs. And believe me, I really think Concord are a dark horse for promotion, because they've shown great. They're not lost many, and they're really consistent. They've not had a really dodgy spell much though lately. They score a lot of goals, and they've got a really underrated team there with Alex Wall, Jack Midson, and then Jean-Luc and lots of those players. So I really think they could put a strong push together for the playoffs and promotion. They are in the playoffs, 11 points of St Albans albeit, but they've got a better goal difference. So Concord are in a really good position. Woking are not the form you want to be in going into the playoffs. They're now just on 75 points in 2nd place. They're only 2 points ahead of Welling. So they could even give up 2nd place at this point, by the way they're going, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And I really don't think they're going to win the playoffs. I honestly don't. I think Concord or Welling are the 2 front runners at the moment. But what terrible was that for Woking, but Concord will be absolutely over the moon with the result. Moving on to Saturday's games, we start off with Billericay Town 2, Hempstead 1, strengthening the Billericay's playoff chances against a team who had nothing to play for much for the rest of the season. So Joe Kizzy got the hosts off to a brilliant start on the 35th minute, putting them ahead with a brilliant finish. Amuri did, however, equalise for him just 2 minutes after the restart, making it 1-1 and putting Billericay in a difficult position here, giving Hemel a chance to think they can get something. However, the 64th minute, Moses Emmanuel put those chances to bed as he put them back ahead with a brilliant finish. He's been a really good scorer for them this season. He's been a real underrated player in the league this season. He's scored a lot of goals, really consistent as well, even though Billericay's tough patch. So Billericay's playoff chances are back alive again after their brilliant upturn in form recently, after the defeats they've been having recently. Now back in 6th place on 65 points. They've got a point inside the playoffs instead of St Albans in 8th. Hemel, in contrast, who I said had nothing to play for, now on 15th place on 48 points, with Dulwich on 14th on 48 and 16th Hampton on 48. It looks like those 3 could switch positions depending on what happened in the last few games of the season, but for now Hemel had nothing to play for. Billericay delighted with the win, strengthening their playoff chances. Unbelievable result came in next. One of the shocks no one expected whatsoever. Eastbourne Borough ran out 6-0 winners over Dartford. An Eastbourne team hadn't won since January. And whilst Dartford had been struggling recently, you would have expected them to win, but they were absolutely trounced, and it looks like there's no way they're getting playoffs this season. However, I believe they did have an injury crisis, like of Charlie Sheringham, Bailey Vose and Louis Wells was had to go in place of Bailey Wells. Charlie Sheringham, Dan McQueen also injured, so they did have a bit of an injury crisis, but it's an embarrassing result. It has to be an embarrassing result. It'll go away to a team fighting relegation and getting thumped 6-0. It's truly embarrassing, and it's played in part to a fabulous hat-trick from Charlie Walker. Goals in the 14th, 43rd and 68th minute, the 68th being a penalty from him. Rounded off a 6-0 victory. Also goals to Wills in the 28th minute and Jordan in the 59th and Michael Weston in the 61st. Capping off a fabulous victory for Eastbourne Borough, and it looks like to put them in a real good position to stay up now, because at the moment they were my picks of relegation after they did have a dire run of form. They looked like couldn't get any points from anywhere, but I think it's changing now. I'm going to give my thoughts on that. I'll summarise that quickly, what I think of that at the end. But a victory for Eastbourne has lifted them up into 17th place on 41 points. They're 4 points outside the relegation zone, so they are in a good position. But if teams start winning, you never know. They can never be too safe now. In contrast, Dartford have just crashed out of the playoffs into 10th place. They're now on 61 points, 3 points outside the playoffs. It's not in their hands anymore, and They don't deserve, if I'm honest, they don't deserve to get in the playoffs after their terrible form they've been having. Couldn't beat Weston, couldn't beat Hampton, Truro, and then they'll be then trounced upon by Eastbourne. It's embarrassing. I'll be embarrassed. I was a Dartford fan. They don't deserve to get in the playoffs. Fabulous victory for Eastbourne though, who are in a real good position now to stay up. Southtown kept their brief playoff chances alive, however, with a magnificent 3-1 away victory at Oxford City. So this is a bit of a topsy-turvy game. Both teams were in similar positions before the start of today's game. And Slough did take the lead through Ben Harris, the former Hampton man, gave him the lead after a brilliant start, just 6 minutes in. However, Kamungo Tushamango, Oxford City's top scorer, equalised in the 41st minute, just 4 minutes before half-time, from the penalty spot to ensure the teams go into the break level. And it stayed that way. It was a really scrappy and tight second half. Not much happened, but both teams were going through it. However, Slough's resilience eventually showed 6 minutes from time as George Wells fired in to give them the lead and looked to steal all 3 points. And Amate, just 3 minutes from time, made sure of that by brilliantly poking home and making it 3-1, securing a massive 3 points for Slough in their brief playoff chances to keep them alive. So they're now on 61 points in ninth. They're 3 points off Concord. So whilst it is unrealistic, they're going to have to rely on other teams stepping up. You never know what this division could step up. So it's magnificent what's happening to this division. It's always changing, as I say, week in, week out. You never know what could happen. Oxford are now on 53 and 13th. They've literally got nothing to play for now, because if they were to have any brief playoff chances, even though they were pretty much zero, they had to win every single game. But they now have mathematically cannot go up and cannot go down. They're going to stay in 13th place realistically on 53, which is where they are now. But South's playoff chances, you've got to give them credit to Baker and under the management team there. They've done magnificently up there for their first season back at National South level, and I'm sure they'll be happy wherever they are, but a playoff should be added bonus for them. But they've done magnificently this season, and my hat goes off to the two managers there. But Slough will be absolutely delighted with the 3 points, keeping their brief playoff chances alive. Relegation 6-pointer next came between Truro City at Truro Road against Gloucester City, and it was Gloucester that ran out 2-1 winners, putting Truro in a real bad position, which I'll get to the table later on. And it was top scorer Fabien Robert, who was a lethal striker. He's a really underrated player, I have to say. He gave Gloucester the lead on the 38th minute, sending the away fans into raptures. And Jaden Jackson, I believe, in the 76th minute, doubled Gloucester's lead, giving them a brilliant, comfortable cushion now, putting any pressure. Even though Truro were applying pressure, they just couldn't get that cutting edge, and Gloucester's second all but put an end to their chances of getting anything out of the match. However, in the 90th minute, Tyler Harvey, top scorer, lethal talisman, did half the deficit, giving them brief chances, but it wasn't to be. Gloucester held out for the 2-1 victory, giving them a massive victory in the relegation battle. I think Gloucester, along with Eastbourne, should just survive now, I think, because after their victory, although you never know, it's so tight, which I'll get to in a minute. Truro are 20th now, occupying the final relegation spot on 37 points, and Gloucester, with their victory, are now 18th on 41 points, so they're 4 points clear of the drop zone, barring if Truro, I believe, will be relegated if they lose tomorrow at Hampton, my team, and Hungerford go away win at Torquay, but it's really unlikely. But realistically, Truro need to be winning games fast, because they've not won many at all. I believe they've not won since mid-February, which is pretty bad. It's pretty shocking. Gloucester are really inconsistent as well. It's what's kept them down in the relegation battle. They're constantly to get a good run alive, so it won't surprise me if they lose some next games, if they lose on Monday. So even though they're 4 points clear, they've got to be careful and stop winning games just to ensure their safety. Truro are in big trouble, however. Wealdstone's playoff chances are all but over now after a 3-1 home defeat to Dulwich Hamlet. And it was a magnificent performance on the Hamlet in front of a packed crowd at Wealdstone. I did say that Dulwich will make it tricky for them, and Dulwich should manage to run out 3-1 winners. And they raced into a 3-goal lead before Wealdstone did get a consolation later on. Hunt gave Dulwich the lead in the 19th minute, and Anthony Cook doubled their lead in the 39th, going into half-time with a comfortable 2-0 margin. And it was Deepa Akinyemi who all but secured the win from the spot, 11 minutes from time, brilliantly putting on the penalty to make it 3-0 to Dulwich, stunning the home crowd. Most of them who were left, however, most of them have gone home probably. Freddie Grant, if those who did go home didn't see Freddie Grant's 6 minute from goal consolation, 6 minutes from time to reduce the deficit, but to no avail. Wilson lost 3-1 at home to Dulwich, and their playoff chances are all but over now, it has to be saying. They're on 60 points, they're 4 points far outside the playoffs. Wealdstone are 11th of Concord, they're 4 points of Concord, occupying the final playoff spot. And Dulwich are one of 3 teams on 48 points, as I said. Dulwich, Hemel, Hampton respectively in 14th, 15th and 16th. Today on 48, they're not going to go anywhere. Realistically, they're going to go out 14th, 15th or 16th is where they'll finish. But they'll be happy where they finish with their first season back at National South level. They'll be happy that they survived. Wealdstone, however, got to be disappointed, but I don't think they're a playoff team. They're rightly going to be disappointed with Bobby Wilkinson, which is just unbelievable. They never pleases their fans. They want Golden Bartley back, even though they couldn't wait to get rid of him, which is just unbelievable. That's why I don't like them. But nonetheless, they'll be disappointed with the loss that they can't get in the playoffs. But they're hoping they'll be going into next season. But realistically, I think they were good enough to get the playoffs anyway. Final game of the weekend involving my team was Weston-super-Mare relegated back to the Southern, not back to, but relegated for the first time in their history to the Southern League South. It finished Weston-super-Mare 0, Hampton and Richmond 2, and yeah, confirming Weston's relegation. Finally, despite their resilience, you got to give them credit. They showed resilience. They gave it a good go. Got a big crowd in as well, but to no avail. They are down. They are down at last. Despite their brief fight that they've shown the last few games, they are relegated. And it was Wolfstoterio, the league, who's been brilliant since he came. Absolutely brilliant. One of the best players of the season. I'm just saying a lot, even though he's only been here not even half a year, half a season. He gave us the lead in the 14th minute. A great finish, hooking it over the keeper, Luke Pannell, and putting Weston in deep trouble. I mean, they had the attack. They had to attack and go out and get a point. They had to go out and get the goal, and had to go out and get 3 points. And whilst they give it a really good go, to be fair to them, they invited a lot of pressure on the Hampton goal. It wasn't to be, and Ryan Hill secured the win 8 minutes from time as he put it past Luke Pannell. Also secured the win for Hampton, as I said, and it all but put Weston down into the Southern League South, confirming their relegation, and it did. Finished 2-0, and Weston are now rock bottom on 31 points. They cannot get outside the drop zone now. 2 games to play there. They are 7 points from safety. They can only get 6 points now, so 36 is the max they can get. They can only finish 21st, is the highest they can finish now. So they are relegated for the first time in their history. They have never been relegated. They have finished in the relegation zone 3 times before, I believe, but they are all reprieves. But this time it looks unlikely that a reprieve will save them. The win for Hampton, however, leaves us in 16th place as we are the third team. We are at the bottom of that little mini 3-team 48 points thing. To Dulwich, Hemel and Hampton all on 48 points. Realistically, the highest we can finish is 14th. We can finish 13th, but it will involve Oxford realistically losing all their games. But good win for the boys there. Needs to get a win just to get that confidence back in. Hopefully go again to get the 3 points on Monday as well. But massive win for us, but it's a shame to see Weston relegated. Before I go, I'm going to quickly give my predictions for tomorrow's game. I'm not going to go into them in too much analysis, otherwise this video will be very, very long, so I'll just go into them quickly. So, Bath against Oxford City. Bath need the points for the playoffs. I think they will bounce back there. I think there will be a comfortable win. I think it'll be 3-1 to Bath. Chelmsford against Wealdstone. Big game for both teams. Wealdstone need the points to have any brief chances of getting in the playoffs still, but even though Chelmsford have slipped off a little bit, I think Chelmsford will bounce back with a narrow 1-0. No, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1 draw between Chelmsford and Wealdstone. 1-1, I'm going to say. Concord and St Albans is a massive game, absolutely huge for the playoffs. I think Concord are going to do it. They're at home. I think they will do it. They'll just edge it out. I think that'll be 2-1 to Concord. Dartford and Billericay, again, another massive game for the playoffs. But I think Dartford are falling like a stone at the minute. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think Billericay will find this one fairly comfortable. I think that'll be 2-0 to Billericay. Dulwich against Woking. Woking are falling apart at the moment too. Dulwich are at home. It's a tough place to go. I'm going to back Dulwich again for another narrow 2-1 victory there. Thurrock against Welling. Thurrock will be down if they don't win this, and against Welling, it's only going one way. I think Welling will find this comfortable, even if it is away at Thurrock. But I'm going to say 3-1 to the Wings, relegating Thurrock. Gloucester against Chippenham. Gloucester could secure their safety if they win. I think they will there against Chippenham, who are inconsistent side, not got much to play for. I think Gloucester will do it just 2-1. Hampton against Truro. It's a tricky one to score because Truro are going to be up for it. Our home form has been iffy of late, even though we got the win against Wealdstone last time out. But I'm going to just back us for that one. I'm going to go 2-1 for Hampton for that one. Hemel against Weston. Both sides got nothing to play for now. Obviously, as Weston are relegated and Hemel, just stuck in mid-table on the 48 points. But I think Weston will come out fighting. I think I see it being a draw, to be honest. Both sides got nothing to play for. I think there's going to be a 1-1 draw, I'll say, for that one. Slough against Eastbourne Borough. Eastbourne all but safe. If they win, they will be safe. Slough need to win to keep their brief playoff chances alive. And they're a fantastic form as well, and I think they will continue that. I think it'll be 2-0 to Slough. And final game of the weekend, final game on Monday, sorry, is Torquay against Hungerford. Hungerford really need a win there to keep their chances alive. And whilst I can't see Torquay making too many changes because it will be the title. There'll be the game where they lift the title there as well. So I think Torquay will put a few of their strong players back out again. I think they will took advantage of that, and I think they will comfortably deploy of Hungerford. I think it'll be 3-0 for that one. So, they're my predictions for Monday's games. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your predictions down below. Leave your thoughts on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. I'll see you next time for my vlog, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.